couldn't make it because he was going someplace.
Does somebody want to grab the?
Yeah, he forgot too.
You want to go grab it? Thank you.
Well, yeah, they always put that. It's always there.
I got 1 minute. I could start this though.
Yep. Supposed to be on time. Steve, thank you for those videos. Immensely. I'm still going. I'm still watching.
How am I supposed to record?
Yeah, if
Is
you
it already
sign
set up
in, you get
recording?
credit for all
No, you
of
gotta
those,
hit the record button to start it.
Where's that at?
The little button, the circle in the middle next to the.
really helpful.
Yeah, very informative.
Record to cloud or on this computer?
On computer.
Whoops.
Recording in progress.
That didn't work. I accidentally hit cloud, I think. It hit it on its own.
Whoops.
No. Can I back up? Hold on. Stop recording.
Recording stopped.
On this computer.
Recording in progress.
Okay. We fixed it. So we will call this meeting to order. It is 7 p.m. Monday, April 3rd for City Council regular meeting. If I can get everybody to silence your cell phones, and please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Citizens, what do we do on the agenda? You think I'd be better at this by now? Oh, yeah. Ms. Hogan, can we take a roll call?
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Here.
Councilmember Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Holland,
Present.
Councilmember Dowdy,
Here.
Councilmember Hall,
Here.
and Councilmember Alderman.
Here.
It is a very light house tonight. Most of the city staff is not here, so I beg of you, please, don't ask me too many questions. We will do citizen communications for items not on the agenda. Mr. Belial?
I've just come tonight to talk about Planners Days. It's the 15th through the 18th of June. We now have the parade registration forms are available online and probably will be in significant places here in town available, a physical form for people that want to go in the parade. The Car Club has their information on the website as well, and they've printed some T-shirts, or at least I've seen the design for some T-shirts that they'll have available this year for the cruise-in. We will have our meeting on the 18th of April. That's the third Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. at the VFW, and we'd love for you to join us. We're still looking for sponsorships and prizes. If anybody's interested, please come and see me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Miller with the chamber. She might run over the 5 minutes since she did not end up on the agenda. So to give her update, she might run over a little bit, guys.
I appreciate you guys letting me move my report to this week instead of the following report, normal week. So visitor center visitor count has been increasing, which is great. The road is open, as we all know. The sidewalk looks done. There's still cones out. I really want to walk on it, but my luck, I would leave footprints. I did also want to go write my name in it when they were doing it, but you know, I resist the urge. So snow park passes are still available through the 30th of this month. Plowing and grooming has been completed as of last Friday. The way they're financing, if you will, the work for the plowing, it only goes to the end of March because usually there's not snow still up there. So Also with that, Forest Service Road 83 has seen a large amount of snow and it may be unpassable and closed. The Forest Service is closing it when it is unsafe and unpassable, and also starting on the 1st of April is when you have to start getting climbing permits to climb Mount St. Helens as well. So what they're doing is if they're making it unpassable and saying it's closed, you can request a refund for your climbing permit after your climbing permit day has gone past, so you claim it the next day. Let's see here. We have updated our website. We have a bunch of not new links, just easier to find things to do and see around our region. It has links to Planners Days, to the Lilac Gardens, tulip fields, all that good stuff. Just huge long links. You just click on them all that way. It's easy to find. Tulip fields open this Friday. Lilac Gardens open on the 22nd. This weekend, the 8th, is the VFW breakfast, 7 to 11. It is open to the public. It's really good. We had, let's see, we had pancakes last time and biscuits and gravy. My family did. It was really yummy. Chamber, tomorrow's meeting is Travis. We have a after hours with Lineage on the 20th. Our member day is on the 25th. I started getting all of our swag. I have one more thing to get and then we'll start stuffing all those bags. So if you are a member, make sure you come to Pizza Factory on the 25th to get some free pizza and your swag bag. You'll be hearing about that a couple more times. Speakers are booked for our weekly meetings out until mid-May. Almost have it completed through May. Keep an eye on the e-blast for more info to see who is speaking. We have some really interesting ones coming up. This last week, I was able to attend the Port of Woodland and Woodland High School's career fair. It was great to see so many businesses in one spot. Trying to see if there's anybody here that was there. It was a lot of fun to see all the different kids, and they went seniors to freshmen, so the class sizes got bigger because, you know, as they get upperclassmen, they go to running start. They may not be there at team. So it was funny to see the size. You think the sizes changed, the size didn't, just the size of the classes, just human bodies. So that was really neat to see all of our local businesses. We have 3 more legislative calls. Tomorrow is Representative Orcutt. That's at 7:30 via Zoom. Please remember to mute yourself. And if you are on a phone or on a computer, to raise your hand if you have a question. That's been working really good. And then in closing tonight, I would like to let you all know that this will be my last report to City Council as the Chamber Executive Director. Friday is my last day. I want to thank all of council and department heads, the ones that are here, thank you, for all the help and participation I've had for the last couple of years with all you guys. I may not be the Chamber Director at events anymore, but I do plan on still being involved in our community, just with a different title. So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, and I can't speak for everybody up here, but you will be missed.
I'm still going to be around.
I know, but
I'm not moving on stage.
you will be missed in that position. And you did it under 5 minutes.
I tried. I can talk fast.
Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak for
We're hiring.
for items not on the agenda? I don't know if there's anybody online. Are we online right now for the meeting? I just don't see it up there. Yay.
But it should be on your screen if there's other attendees there.
All I see is this camera.
Yeah, then they'll use online then.
Participants 1. You're not saying it all again? All right, seeing none, we will move on to citizen communications for items on the agenda. I don't have anybody wrote down here, so is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to items on the agenda? Now's your chance. Or anybody online for items on the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on. It's now time for agenda approval.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Councilmember Rounds. Motion by Councilmember Rounds, seconded by Councilmember Dowdy. I'll get it out. Can we take a vote?
Councilmember Hall,
Yes. Yay.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Alderman,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds.
Aye.
Motion carries. Move on to reports of city council.
I would have something.
Councilmember Alderman.
I was lucky enough to have the opportunity last Thursday to take some time and spend some time, quite a bit of time actually, with Tracy and Tim, taking a tour of Woodland. Parts of Woodland even though I grew up here most of my life, parts that I've never got to see before. The water treatment plant, some of the construction things going on, some of the planning. The one that I was really quite struck by was the water sewage treatment plant down there. And what an absolute wonderful job that those guys are doing down there. I know Derek personally. I grew up with him and his sisters, so I've known him for quite a few years. And he showed me some pictures of the flood and stuff like that, and then how they rebuilt. And said that plant was, after they rebuilt it, was supposed to be good till 2023. And they are running at only 20% capacity. They're good for another 15, 20 years. They have backups to backups. They have set an example down there. They are ready for almost anything. There's some things they do need some help on that would make them run a little more efficiently, but they're doing a great job. And around with Tim, we went around to all the different areas, met some people, and got reacquainted with some people that I grew up with, and showed me the different jobs they were doing. But I'm pretty impressed. I think we're very lucky, not only as a council, but as a city, to have Tracy, Tim, and I met with Travis tonight. We're very lucky to have those people working on our side. Because I wanted to do this position because of everything I've heard and stuff like that, and I don't like to form an opinion unless I get educated. And in the last week, I have had such an education. It's unbelievable. And all I can say is for people that are naysayers and stuff like that, that have their doubts, ask questions like I did. You'll be informed, because the information that I was going by, basing my opinions on, way off. And I'm pretty impressed with the people that are in these positions. And I thank you guys very much for spending the time with me and educating me. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to? Oh, Councilmember Dowdy.
Woodland Middle School had their first 5K that they hosted a couple weekends ago, and my son participated in that, and it was a nice turnout for the first 5K. It was cool to see the running team that they've started meeting after school set up and run the whole event, and the tech program, or one of the tech classes, actually printed 3D on their 3D printers the medals that they gave out. So it was really cool to see how all the students had a hand in everything that they did. I know Councilmember Smith and his family came too, and it was a real nice turnout. And they had a marathon runner that came, that was kind of their guest for the day. But I thought it was really well ran, and the kids and families that came and supported it, I think, really enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, it was, for the bit I was there, we had one child with us that had asthma, so we ended up having to leave before we barely got started. After telling a second grader not to run, he did not listen. But no, it was good. It was hosted really well, and they did a really good job. And I would encourage anybody who can support local activities. It was good. And talking with the teacher who helped put this on, the money is going to go to pretty good uses, to where she's hoping to maybe, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, I don't know if I should say this or not, but hoping to the people in the running club, the kids in the running club, trying to get them to go on an actual paid run somewhere. So it'll be good for them and good for the kids that are part of the running club in the future.
And they hope to do it annually, so
Yeah.
they hope it to be the first of many to come.
Any other council reports? Oh, Councilmember Hall?
Somebody ought to recognize Travis Goddard for his son's accomplishment. They won third nationally in the National Hockey Playoffs. So that's why he was in New York last week. Pretty cool.
Congratulations.
And thank you, by the way, for a good tutorial on the computer today. I appreciate that.
All right. Anybody else? Seeing none, move on to reports of standing committees. Public safety did not meet.
No report because of conflict with the chief's schedule.
Next meeting is May 1st at 6 p.m.
Yep.
Someday we'll get it changed.
It's a possibility. Ms. Hogan,
Yeah,
are you the one who
6 p.m.
types this up? I think all of the meetings at this point start at 6 p.m.
No one's told me. Everyone says it's at 5:30, so I will make a note for future meetings.
So they are at 6?
Yeah, 6.
Well,
Unless
finances and
Public.
public safety is. I don't know about public works.
Works is,
Public works is at 6 also.
Works is unless we have a meeting before, like we did last time.
yeah.
We moved it up, but
Update for public works.
no meeting tonight.
And the next meeting is May 1st at 6 p.m. And then finance met on 3/27.
Yeah, we did. Sorry, I guess that's the date we met. So just, we had a lot of months of stuff to go over, but some of the things that I thought were interesting was, 2022 voter registration maintenance costs. So even though somebody may not vote and they're a registered voter, the city's portion to maintain Woodlands voter registration is $20,000 for a year. So vote, because your tax dollars are paying for the elections department to maintain those records. And then the other things we learned is that, as always, auto RV sales and big box stores are our #1 sales tax revenue producers, and that our economy is stronger than it was this time last year. So it's all moving upwards to pre-COVID numbers. And yeah, it was a pretty quick meeting actually. So, and then we're gonna meet again hopefully at normal time later this month. Now that Miss Anderson's back from her, she was at a conference for other clerks in the state, learning clerky things.
That meeting is on 4/17
Yes.
at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Question. Is it
Councilmember
$20,000 a year, or is that every other year during the regular
Um,
elections?
It says, I guess I'm allowed to share that. I thought it was interesting. 2022, so that's for 2022.
For the election? Okay.
So I just think that's interesting because so many people don't participate in the process
Right.
by
Oh, yeah.
voting, but yet they're still having to pay to maintain their records. So they should vote.
Any other questions regarding standing committees? Okay. Seeing none, reports of advisory committees. And mayor is not here. I don't think there's anybody here at this point for all these ones. So we'll just hope you weren't wanting an update on that because we're going to move on. This one's going to be really quick too. Reports of city officers. Mayor's not here. City administrator's not here.
Though,
So up-
although I do have notes for the city administrator.
Okay.
So a reminder that the next city council meeting is April 17th, 2023, right here in this room at 7 p.m. There's also a planning commission on April 20th, 2023 at 7 p.m. And I'd like to point out that they laid out a calendar for updating the comprehensive plan as discussed at the last meeting. That is posted around the city. I'm sorry I printed copies but left them on the printer for you, but I will get them to your mailboxes tomorrow. It'll also be placed on the web. So there is a open house this Thursday from 6 until 9, and it will be covering the work that was done on the Parks and Rec plan, and also a follow-up open house on the climate resiliency work that was done as part of the pilot program and presented to the Planning Commission. So anyone in the public who's interested, come out and you'll be given a pad of Post-its and ask for your input into both of those topics this Thursday in this room. And we're actually going to be having open houses on the first Thursday of every month from now until September. And that is in preparation for 2 weeks later. The third Thursday of every month will be the Planning Commission, either workshop or hearing on, we're going to go through the comprehensive plan chapter by chapter rather than trying to tackle it all at once. So keep an eye out for that schedule. It'll be on the website tomorrow, and it'll be in your inboxes tomorrow. Also, the last thing I wanted to point out, and that is the Clark County Council has a public hearing scheduled on April 18th at 6 p.m. and it has to do with their comprehensive plan update and their 20-year population projection. So if you go to the Clark County website, if you want to see what the county is doing, they have their own big update planned, and the first one is discussing the population stuff that we did a month ago. So they're hopefully we'll stay ahead of them and show how to do it quickly and efficiently rather than slow and laboriously. So keep an eye out for that, but that is also going to be available in person and online if you'd like to attend that. And that's it for...
I have a question. So you have a park survey on the city site, and so some feedback from people was that it wasn't, like on their phones, they can't see all the questions.
Oh, okay.
Or when they hit submit, it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
I used a computer, didn't have a problem. I think, I looked at it on my phone, but I didn't, since I'd already done it, I didn't try to do it again to see what the problem was, but that was just some of the comments.
Yeah, I got a couple messages from a couple people in it, cause I shared the
Yeah.
link that you shared, and they messaged me, they have the same issues. They fill out the questions, excuse me, but they have to submit, and it won't do anything. So there's some issues there.
Okay, I will take a look into that. Or actually, I will ask someone to look into that tomorrow. Sure.
See, I filled it out. I think I used my phone. I thought it worked.
So there are
Yeah.
several questions in that survey that have a red star. Those are required, and sometimes they're a two-part question. If you don't answer both parts, it will not allow you to submit. So I did do testing on a cell phone device, an iPad device, and a computer, and it all works. So if someone's having issues, direct them my way, and I can help them.
And I think I had to go back and answer one when I didn't, that I skipped one. So
But
I,
it usually gives you like a red thing at the bottom that
Yeah.
says you need to go back and answer something.
Yeah. So that's what the issue probably is.
Where you see the red.
Just to let them know.
Councilmember Hall?
This is a different subject from the parks. Are we done with that?
Yeah.
The website also shows a public hearing on the apartment project out south of the
Gun Club?
Lewis River Road.
Yes, Lewis River Road
Next-
Apartments.
A week from tomorrow, right? That-
The 11th, yes, a week from tomorrow,
Just wanted to make sure that was still on.
in this room, yep,
Is that a public hearing or in front of the hearing examiner?
public hearing,
Okay.
hearings examiner.
Gotcha.
And what day again was that?
Next
The
Tuesday.
11th.
The 11th? Director Goddard, you did your your public works or community development already? I'm assuming you're done with your update fully, right?
Yes,
You
fully
did the city administrator's portion in yours? Oh. Frank, do you have anything? No, sir, nothing. Okay. I'm just gonna remove you from here.
Hey, but thanks for those of you who showed up today.
One of these days, you are gonna have a lot to say, and it's gonna cost us a fortune.
You didn't say no.
Move to consent items. Take a motion to approve consent items, or deny, or
Motion. Motion to approve consent items.
Second.
motion by Councilmember Dowdy, seconded by Councilmember Burke. Can Ms. Hogan, can we take the roll?
Councilmember Alderman,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall, Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke.
Aye.
Motion carries. Move on to action items. Action item D, generator service 4-year agreement.
Make a motion to approve action item D, generator service 4-year agreement.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Rounds, seconded by Councilmember Burke.
Uh,
Councilmember Rounds?
It looked to me like that they managed to stay with the same agreement that they had the last time, so, and we need to have it, so I think we're okay with that.
Councilmember Burke?
I agree.
Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, we take the roll.
Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall, Councilmember Alderman,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds.
Aye.
Motion carries. Move on to action item E, ADA transition plan.
Motion to approve ADA transition plan.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Dowdy, seconded by Councilmember Rounds. Councilmember Dowdy?
According to Ms. Coleman, she said that this is now required for grant funding. And we had put it off for 4 budget cycles due to using the funds elsewhere, but now we need to obtain some state and federal funding, and we can't get it done unless we have this done. So we need to get it done.
Councilmember Rounds?
Agreed.
Any further questions or comments?
I've got a lot of
Councilmember Hall?
got a lot of positive comments on all the ADA compliance, sidewalk entrances and whatever. Just this last week, I heard 2 or 3 people comment on how good those look and how well they're done. So it's an improvement for the city, even though it's a requirement. It is a really nice visual.
I think Tracy's done a lot of that with grant money. Am I accurate on that statement?
Yeah, we talked Thursday, her and I got to spend some time, and that was one of my questions that I wanted to learn about, and a lot of grant money she's used. And now she's at the point now where she needs to get some of these other projects done before she's able to get some more grant money. So this is a big one. The ADA is a great thing here.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none. Ms. Hogan, can we take the roll?
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Alderman,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Dowdy.
Aye.
Motion carries. Move on to action item F, ordinance number 1533, 4th quarter 2022 budget amendment, first and final reading.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1533, 4th quarter 2022 budget amendment. First and final.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Rounds, seconded by Councilmember Burke. Councilmember Rounds.
It's just cleaning up the funds that we got in for the end of last year that they didn't have the accounting for, and for the finances that went out. So it's just cleanup work for the end of the year budget.
Councilmember Burke.
Yeah, I checked and I agree with it.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty standard practice. We do this quarterly for all the budgets to keep up and make sure that we're accurate.
She
Because
said
we
that
haven't
one-
gotten all the funds in by that time, so it's just an amendment.
And that was covering a calendar quarter, right, the last calendar quarter. That's surprising, it was within 1%, less than 1% variance, you know, to me that's
Right.
significant. Good job.
It sounds like we might have this first quarter next meeting maybe is what I was hearing rumor of.
Mhm.
Well, any other questions or comments regarding action item F? All right, seeing none. Ms. Hogan, can we take the roll?
Councilmember Dowdy,
Aye.
Councilmember Hall,
Aye.
Councilmember Burke,
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Holland,
Aye.
Councilmember Alderman.
Aye.
Motion carries, and it is time to move into a workshop. Do we want to take a 5-minute recess, or is this going to be a long presentation, Mr. Goddard?
It'll be quick.
It's super quick.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah, but I do need like 2 minutes to get it set up since that laptop's not working.
So you need 5 minutes anyways?
Or just 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll
Or
take
you
a
need
5 minute.
5-minute break.
We'll take a
Okay.
5-minute recess. Yes, I do.
Right? I like these kind of meetings.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do.
Say
So my 3-year-old
very
granddaughter
carefully words they choose, but yeah, it's just not out of
pink Jeep. Okay, so Pa bought her this fancy Jeep. It's got all the bells and whistles. Well, on Christmas Day, she loved it until it moved. And then she freaked out. So it's taken up until today. Like she'll sit in it and have a great old time. But today, she turned on the lights, the radio, turned everything on. And
Yeah, I had an
actually,
idea for your
she held Pa's hand through all of this, but then he actually got it to move a couple feet. She didn't freak out. So we feel like the next sunny day.
Okay, so it's
Outside.
Yes, yes, but she will sit in that thing and have a great old time. She doesn't want it on.
That's amazing.
So she has a little pink Minnie Mouse helmet to wear. But it's got a roller, it's got
Oh my goodness.
fire lights.
It really has everything.
It has everything. They're so much more advanced now than when my
My
kids were
goodness.
little. So.
how those things happen. It's like
Can drive it?
Yes.
That's amazing.
So she can't get too out of here. She can, but you have ultimate control. So she can't go. So they'll know what it takes.
That's great.
we're gonna do it.
That's super fancy then.
It is. She likes the new.
That's awesome.
She will be 3 May 6th. I've seen those on Facebook Marketplace.
My sister's little one that I'm going to see, she has a VW bus that she gets to drive around. I can't wait. And it matches their VW bus. Like, they painted it to match it and everything. So cute.
Yeah. Kind of excited to see how much damage she has done. She's such a
Having people run it.
She the only grandbaby?
Yeah, if you've got some groups that want to take you on,
another
they could make some money.
So they'll all get to enjoy this.
Yeah, this first foray.
the advertising for tomorrow? Well,
What's that?
Yeah, I'm gonna use it. She was.
I'm not a computer guy. I don't play with that on a computer.
How much you want to tax?
I'm not. In fact, I'm thinking about trying to look into a place where we can get a class of basic Windows and how to use.
Chamber meetings are like.
North Fork? Yes.
How did you really?
I shut it down in 2012 when I worked in chamber.
Good.
But Orange is looking, I guess, actually, put lead on there. Rob's ideas.
I am glad. I am so glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm trying to share it and it says it shares, but
It,
it's not.
it's on his screen.
Is it on your screen?
Uh-huh.
Okay, never mind. I was like, it's not working.
Can we get to that address?
I don't know, I still see the camera like off to the corner now.
But you see what on the screen?
I do see that, yeah.
Okay.
Can we get to that address? No.
Get to what?
Can we get to that address on the computer? No.
Yep, I'll show you where. It's on the agenda.
I'm gonna unmute
It's
now.
on the agenda.
It is on
Okay.
there? Yeah, okay, let me go back to the agenda.
We'll call the meeting back to order at, what time is it? 7:37. Are we really moving that quickly?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Nobody's here. Those things go
Do we have to
quick.
call the workshop into session? Okay. So we'll call the meeting into a workshop to discuss or go over the cloud permit demo. And we'll go into workshop at 7:37.
So as you all know, we've got a new software program for cloud permitting, as well as planning will be online here shortly. But right now we have 3 modules through cloud permits. There's code enforcement, permits, and planning. Hold on one second. Stop. Okay. And it's a really nice software. It's a software program that we didn't have before, so we're able to process permits faster than we have before, as well as community members and applicants can see where their progress is on the application itself. So they don't have to always ask us. They can log in online, apply for a permit. The other cool part is if you're doing a full project, like a brand new build for like a commercial building or apartment complex or a residential home, you can apply for multiple permits under one project. So it's all right there, instead of before it was individual, which could be hard to keep track of because there's individual files for each type of permit that was filed. So it's a little bit easier to keep track of, as well as once a plan is approved and a permit is issued, the applicant can always go back and download a electronic record of the permit, as well as any approved stamp plans by the plan reviewers at any given time. So in case they lose their set on the job site, which on commercial builds happens all the time, they can go back and reprint them. They can also request inspections through here, so inspections are a little bit easier now because it'll actually give you a list of inspections that are going to be required for that specific project. Before, it was kind of up to contractors and kind of us kind of telling them, you know, what the list may be for the inspections. And it also informs our plan reviewers, which is our third party, Townsend and Associates. They do all our plan reviews and inspections for us. So it allows them to log in and be able to review plans easier, instead of having it go through like a Dropbox or a USB where they have to come down and get it, or through email if it's a small enough file to send through email. On our agenda this evening, if you click on the packet, 3 items attached there are hyperlinks. There are 4 hyperlinks there. This is one of them, links you to the direct video of how to apply for a permit, how to sign up for cloud permits. So you first have to register as a user in order to use it. If you need assistance, give us a call or stop by our office. We're more than willing to help you. Any one of us can. Once you're registered, you'll be able to get updates. You'll also get email notification updates as your permit moves through the process. So it goes from being submitted to the plan review, the plan reviewer sign off on it. It'll let you know that it's been signed off on. And then it'll also let you know if fees are associated with that permit. Gives you an invoice. It also gives you a receipt once they are paid for, and also releases the permit package itself. So it does a lot of what we were doing in-house separately all together at one time. So it's decreased our time for processing permits quite a bit. So we're really excited for this software program. We've actually since we posted it last Monday was the very first day it went live. We actually have had 6 applications so far through there and have heard good things so far about it. So I'm hoping this will play for you. If not, the sound will play for you. Probably not. So the sound probably won't play for you, but I'll kind of narrate really quickly what's going on here. But you are more than welcome to watch at home. Like I said, there's a hyperlink on the agenda. If you go to our City of Woodland website, we actually have a direct link, so you don't have to go to cloudpermits.com, but this is another way you can go there. If you go to City Hall menu under the Community Development Department, there is building permits. There it will take you directly to our permit page here. So right now it's just going through the registration process. It will send you an email, a quick passcode where you have to go to your email and retrieve the passcode to set up and register your account. And then it's gonna ask you for your first name, last name, mailing address, so in case we need to mail you files or send you invoices via mail, we have that there for you. And then it kind of basically walks you through how to process a permit. Very simple, easy. There's 5 steps from start to finish. First, right now you'll create a project name. You don't have to create a project name, but for some of those big projects it might be helpful, especially the commercial builds, or you can just put in your address. That's totally fine, or you can leave it blank. That's totally up to you. Next, you'll have to find the location of where you want the permit, what location the permit is for. Once you set it to Woodland, it'll default always to Woodland the next time you apply for another permit. So you'll have to find this Washington Woodland filters, and then after that it should automatically find. This information actually pulls in from GIS, so we're linking straight to Cowlitz County GIS for this information. So this is where the 3 modules will come into play. You'll see code enforcement up there, but right now it's just building and code enforcement. Planning will be there shortly. This step here we don't have. We've chosen to eliminate it because it doesn't add any value. First, you'll select a category, a work type, and a work target. So your work category is what type of permit you want. You'll also notice right where it's highlighting here, good to know facts. So we've added good to know facts, quick links for you in case you had questions. Once you've selected those 3 types of items, you can click finish and create. So you're finishing the basic permit package. So what you're doing is you're telling the system what kind of permits it needs. It's already configured what questions need to be filled out, what information we'll need, as well as required attachments. So there's a taskbar right on top where it says the red exclamation points. All 3 of those have to turn into a green check mark, and you'll notice there is a hint box highlighted in red there of what is needed to be completed. So the first step will be the parties, which are identifying who the applicant is, the property owner, and the contractor. If you have multiple people, you can add multiple parties to it. If you are the contractor, the property owner, and the applicant, you can select all 3 of those as you. You don't have to enter yourself in 3 different times. You just add them under the required roles section. So here you can select multiple roles and it'll add it under your party information. So the next step will be filling out the required application associated with the 3 selections you selected on the previous screen. And you'll want to click straight anywhere in that gray box that will open up another screen for the permit application. It'll ask you detailed questions that that we require in building to be answered, so not those exact questions will be asked, but it will ask you for a basic description, project evaluation, and then goes into more detail of, okay, what are you doing? Are you doing a new build, a remodel? If you select remodel, there's different questions that are asked then versus like a new build. So it's very detailed, it saves a lot of time, and reduces the confusion that our previous applications had. So the next step will be adding the required attachments. So again, depending on what you select, the required attachments will automatically populate depending on your options. You can drag and drop in the gray box, or you can use the click here function as it does in this video and add it in. Once you upload a document, and it can be for multiple required documents, you just need to check off in the list what it's for. So you'll notice on the second attachment here, they selected off 2 items. You can also add a description if you like, it's not required. So after you get all 3 of those items completed, you'll see that there's a green status bar next to each of those attachments, which means there should be a green check mark at the very top. So now we have the 3 green check marks. The last piece will be the application sign off, which that button is located at the right hand corner at the top of the screen. And you just click and it's electronic sign off. So it's simple as that. Once it's submitted, it automatically notifies us and it automatically starts going through the work through process.
It looks fairly simple.
It looks simple, yeah.
Yeah.
When you say it automatically goes into works in process, then it appears on that page that says city projects. That's the point.
No, so it doesn't link to our website at all. There's not a map for that. It's separate from our website.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to review it all first.
Well, yes. So it goes to Alyssa. It notifies her that an application has been submitted. She reviews it to make sure all the required documents are there. Make sure they give an accurate description of what their project is. They also make sure required attachments are there, make sure the required applications got filled out correctly. Once that has done, then she notifies our plan reviewer by saying send it to review. And when it sends it to review, it automatically notifies the appropriate reviewers. We have 3 different reviewers, so depending if it's residential, commercial, industrial, or what type of project it is, it'll automatically, in the workflow process, assign it to a reviewer. Once they review it, they can add comments. They can also request changes through there at the same time, and it'll notify the applicant if a change is requested. The reviewer will be required to add a comment in the review box if they request changes. And then they'll say complete review. And once the review is passed by both parties, then it comes back to Alyssa and it'll say ready to issue. And all she does is assess the fees, which by entering the correct fees, and then create invoice. When she hits that, the system kind of pretty much does it itself. So the applicant's notified of the fees. The applicant is presented with the list of options of how they can pay the fees. And then once the fees are paid, the system will generate automatically the permit package and release it to them once fees are paid.
Councilmember Burke?
Yeah, so if I wanted to do a new roof job on my house, I'd have to fill one of those.
Yes, a re-roof does require a permit.
Could use it.
Yep, anybody can use it. So all of building permits are now on cloud permits.
So I've asked this question in the past. I just want to ask it again. For people who are not technologically sound, do they still have the option to submit for permits without going through this method?
You would need to come into our office and we will help you walk through on one of our computers to do that.
And is that doing all the scanning and everything that's necessary to submit all that?
We can assist with scanning, so as long as you bring your documents with you, definitely.
Okay. My dad is having struggles in City of Vancouver because it's all online. and it's a challenge for him. So I just want to make sure that it's not going to be a challenge for people in this community.
One of the things that's going to be important is going back to Terry's question about the city project page. That's really the planning and the land use side of the house. The building stuff is not available on the city's page website, so this is kind of the next step in the evolution of getting that to work. And then when we get the planning stuff online, you will be able to see that. One of the aspects that's going to be super helpful, or that this program is really good at, and that is it reduces the amount of communication time and delay that currently occurs. Because say, for example, an applicant has an architect, an engineer, a contractor, and the property owner and the applicant may all be different people. So you might have 5 people and they have to communicate with each other, and then our staff has to communicate with each other. In this system, theoretically, you won't have to wait. As soon as staff types something and approves it, presses save, everybody gets to know, as opposed to letting the applicant know, and the applicant's got to call his architect and say, oh, they're looking for this piece of paper. And then the contractor has no idea when he, whether it's approved or not. Now it opens up everything the city staff does so that all of the parties can watch us work as we make progress. So it eliminates the communication time. And literally, I think one of the things we talked about, Terry, when you were there, is each person will have their own workspace. It's like an electronic desk. So I will be able to come in the morning and see that, oh, there's 3 new applications came in overnight, and Alyssa will have her building permit page, and she'll know how many inspections were requested, how many emails were sent, how many notices were sent. The building inspector will know how many inspections he has that day and how many were due, on Thursday, and how many are due next week. He'll be able to see all of that information on his phone. And if he's just driving by and happens to see, hey, I see you're done with your fence, I'll go ahead and give you a final approval for your fence, even though you didn't call and ask for an inspection. He can just stop by, take photos, automatically is uploaded, and the homeowner will get an email saying, oh, your fence has been final approval. And the contractor, the fence contractor from wherever he is, whether it's a Woodland fence contractor or a Oregon City fence contractor, he'll get an email saying your permit has been approved. Thank you for working with the city.
Nice. Councilmember Daddy?
So if anybody registers and has an account, can they see, like if they just pull up an address like their neighbor, can they see if their neighbor has a building permit for a project they're doing?
You can only see what you submitted for.
Okay, so they still, if they wanted to know if a neighbor has a building permit, they still need to come in.
They would need to, request a public
request.
records request.
Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Hall?
Light years ahead. That is just stunning how much that has improved the flow.
I'm just,
Streamlines things.
Yeah.
I'm just glad, like you, that they can come into the city for the older generation if they have a problem, because they're not always as savvy with the computer as the younger generation is. So
Why are you looking
I'm
at
glad
me
to hear
when you
about
say
it.
that?
I'll just get my 8-year-old grandson to do it for me.
Yeah,
Not all
I
the
hear
younger
ya.
generation's
That's
that
for sure.
savvy either.
That's for sure.
But overall, it seems like it's worked.
Yes.
You have no bugs or anything that you've found so far, and people.
We've done lots and lots of testing, a lot of configuration to make it our software what we needed it for, which is nice for kind of an out-of-box program. We were still able to tailor it to our needs. And with lots and lots of testing, we've tested every single permit you can possibly apply for with our onboarding team that we worked with Cloud Permit, and before we went live. So my goal was to make sure everything was working. So far we have not heard of any hiccups. But like I said, more than happy to help anybody if they come into City Hall or give us a call. We can definitely walk them through everything.
Perfect.
Is there any other towns and stuff using this that you've heard of and no issues?
There are no issues. So before we decided to move ahead with the software program and actually pick Cloud Permit over some of the other software that does permitting, one of the things I asked from everyone is, can you provide me with a list of customers I can call and do some cold calling? And the only customers who were willing to call me back was Cloud Permit people. And they had nothing but positive reviews about it.
Well, that says something.
That's good.
Can I add one thing real quick? We were literally one of the first communities in Washington State, and they gave us a discount because they're trying to break into the market. And so we got this at a super cheap price. And one of the things that also sold us is they literally turned over the keys to the car. So if we find a bug, we have an expert who knows how to do this, and she can solve any problem I've come to find. So our staff, she and Alyssa, have really learned how this system works, and we can solve our own problems without having to pay a consultant to do it. So super good process. Yeah.
Is this was that a one-time fee, or is it, we gotta pay for it?
Annual
every year?
fee.
Annual, okay.
Yeah. So
It sounds like Ms. Hogan is quite the negotiator. We were having a discussion about contracts today, and she is going through a lot of contracts and saving the city a bunch of money by making phone calls and making sure we're getting the best deal. So thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yes.
Kudos.
You get respect and admiration from all of your council members.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? No? Guess we can move out of the workshop. It is 7:57.
Motion to end meeting?
Second.
Motion to end the meeting, Councilmember Dowdy, seconded by Councilmember Burke. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is ended at 8:50.